What's going on, everyone? So let's talk about Luka, because Luka is having his struggles. He's had his inconsistencies from the moment that the Lakers traded for him. Now, early on, I was very defensive of Luka, and I even had people, be like, "Hey, you need to be more critical of Luka." But again, context matters, right? Situation awareness matters, right? And early on, it was like Luka just got traded, brand new team, have to figure that out. How is Luca, LeBron, and Austin Reeves? How are they going to work? How are they going to figure it out? He also just came off of 7 weeks. I said 6 weeks, and then played a game or two, and then add another week off. So basically 7 weeks. It's going to take some time. Find his rhythm, find his flow. Something I talked about was like, hey, he's getting to his spots. He's hitting. He's just not finding the bottom of the net. Give him time. He'll figure it out, right? And then you had Austin Reeves miss some time. So it's like, man, sucks. And then Austin Reeves comes back, and then LeBron misses time, right? And it's like, all right, so, at some point, hopefully we can see what these three look like, right? And then now you have them all, and they've had their struggles, right? Lakers have been very inconsistent. There's questions about the defense. Right? There's questions about, Luka staying in front of guys. He's been serviceable in stretches. Right? He's not great as the help defense or off-ball defense. He's done a decent job of just staying in front of guys, but he's a liability defensively, right? Without a doubt. Now, the problem is we've had enough games with Luka, and he still is having his inconsistencies. And it's concerning, right? Something I've talked about, though, is from the moment we traded for him, I said, I'm not worried about now to the end of the season. I'm not worried about game 77, right? I'm not worried about game 76, whatever, right? I'm worried about game 1 of the playoffs. I said from the beginning, we talked about that there's going to be a learning curve. They're going to lose some games that they should probably have won, right? I basically gave you the blueprint on how things were probably going to go. I said that I believe that they'll probably win 50 wins. In the beginning of the season, I predicted they'd win 52 wins. I didn't think that they'd trade for Luka midway through the season, but I said, I think that they'll still get 50 wins with Luka, and they'll figure, as long as they figure it out come playoffs, we're fine, right? You got 6 games left to figure it out. And again, Luka has not been great, right? I'm not concerned yet. It's concerning, right? It's definitely something that we need to kind of keep monitoring and keep an eye on. But he's still getting to his spots. He's still, he's doing the things that you want to see. He just can't find the bottom of the net consistently. We've seen the Luka game. We've had those games where Luka, he's hit 4 threes in a row and just, taking over down the stretch and making big plays and, having 30, 40 pieces and all this stuff. We have seen Luka be Luka. But we've also seen Luka struggle mightily on the offensive side, right? He's still, grabbing boards and making plays, and, he's still Luka magic in a lot of ways, but he's not giving you the consistency on the offensive side of things, and you need it. You need it, right? The only way the Lakers are winning a championship or having just a good playoff run, period, is if Luka is transcending. You need Luka and LeBron to be transcending. If those two are transcending, and Austin Reeves is great, which he's been more than great, but if he's at least great, Lakers have a real chance and can beat anybody. All right. Now, again, I've always maintained I wouldn't bet on the Lakers. It's I'm not let's bet the house, but there's not a team in the league that I look at and go, Lakers have 0 chance of beating. Right? Same breath, there's not a team that I look at and go, Lakers just steamroll them. Right? I do think that they're going to be hard fought series. I do think most, if not all, the series are probably going 6, 7 games, but I trust the Lakers, if Luka can be Luka, to win most, if not all, of those series, right? And Luka's got to figure it out. He's had his struggles. Right? JJ Redick even said himself, right, that he trusts Luka to shoot himself out of it, that he'll figure it out. And look, bad stretches happen. Even LeBron had a terrible stretch, right? He was 0 of 21 from 3. He had that one game where he was it's probably the worst game of his career, or one of the worst games of his career. It was terrible, right? Bad stretches happen. Bad shooting stretches happen, right? And just like LeBron figured it out and was able to get out of it, and he's been unbelievable since then, my hope is that Luka does the same. My hope is that Luka is just kind of going through this stretch. He's having his struggles right now, but he will figure it out. He'll bounce back, and then we'll be ready come playoff time. Again, I care about the playoffs. I care about game 1 of the playoffs. Not as much as I care about, game, or more than I care about game, again, 76 or whatever. I'm hoping the Pelicans game is a game where Luka can start getting going, right? They basically don't have anybody, bad defensive team. He's going to be able to get his shots off. He's going to be able to get to his spots. Right? Hopefully he can find a bit of a rhythm and start getting to where we need him to be. Also, playoffs and regular season, talk about this all the time, they're almost completely different sports. And why is Luka so good in the playoffs and one of the greatest playoff performers we've ever seen? Because his style of play suits the playoffs so much, right? The pace, how things slow down, the mid-range really opens up because teams make such an effort of closing out to shooters and protecting the paint and all that stuff, right? Like Luka's game is tailor-made for the playoffs. So I still trust and believe that Luka will be able to figure that out, work through whatever he needs to work through, and get back to being the Luka that we know and love, or at least a close version of that, right? There is a possibility that this year he just won't be, top 3 player in the league, Luka. But if he's top 10 player in the league, Luka, and LeBron can be top 10 player in the league, LeBron, and Austin Reeves can play like he's a top, 15, 20 player, then the Lakers will be fine. Lakers will have a chance to win these games. Right? Obviously, I'd love if Luka is that guy. Right? But as long as Luka is essentially your first or second best player on the court every night, right? I'm counting like both teams outside of a Jokic and SGA matchup, then Lakers will be fine. And I do think that version of Luka is still there. We've seen that version of Luka since he's been with the Lakers. We've seen that version of Luka show up and step, right? Like, again, I don't want it to be Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Obviously, fans, they're going to overreact. Talk about all the time the pendulum swing, right? Like, oh my God, Luka's the best player in the world when he balls out. He's trash. We never should have traded him. Nico fleeced us. And you start getting all the narrative change and conversations and kind of being prisoners of the moment. I don't want to be prisoners of the moment. Luka has been inconsistent. He was bad last game. No doubt about it. In a game that we needed him to be good. At least good, right? Because if he's like half decent and good, that's a completely different game. Completely different game. Right? Like if Luka goes and gives us, 25, 27, or let's say 25, right? The Lakers are right in the thick of it at the end of the game. Now that game all of a sudden is like Lakers have a chance or in striking range to win it. Rather than like, you're behind the 8 ball the entire game and you're just like never able to get over that. Lakers were never able to get over the hump. Right? They lost that game essentially in the second quarter. Right? The hoop ended up having a lid on it for 5 minutes. Warriors pulled out the lead and they just never looked back. And that's the frustrating part. Right? But look, again, I trust Luka. He's one of the greatest players we've ever seen. Right? Like players don't usually go from being best in the league to, pedestrian unless something crazy happens, knock on wood, right? Major injury, whatever, right? Like again, Luka's still there. He's still doing Luka things. He just can't find the bottom of the net. He's got to figure out and find the bottom of the net with consistency. Because again, he's had games, he's had stretches, he's had moments where he's found the bottom of the net, but he's also like, he'll have a game where he does it and then has a game where he doesn't do it, right? Like he's had his struggles, he's had his inconsistency. He needs to find his stride. And hopefully it happens right before we get into the playoffs. Right? You got 6 games left, at the time of recording this video, because we're going into the Pelicans game today. Look, things can turn around quick. All it takes is, this Pelicans game, Luka goes out there and drops 40 or 50 or something like that. He gets himself into a rhythm and he's figured it out. And now he's Luka the rest of the way. And Lakers all of a sudden win, 5 out of 6 games. And now the narrative is completely changed. Now everybody's like, Lakers are the best team in the league and Luka's this. And I always knew Luka would be the best player and yada, yada, yada. Like that's what my hope is, right? I'm hoping that, again, the pendulum swing starts to swing the other way and it's like, Luka's the best player in the league. And I don't know. Like, that's my hope. That's what I'm leaning towards as far as Luka and these Lakers go. I mean, Lakers need to be better, period. Hasn't just been all on Luka. I mean, the defense hasn't been there. The effort and intensity has been a struggle at times, right? I mean, No, you've had guys even like Dorian Finney-Smith had a terrible game. Terrible game. And he's been arguably our most consistent guy on a nightly basis for his role and what he does, right? Austin Reeves has been incredibly consistent and fantastic. LeBron too and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like Dorian Finney-Smith, his role, what he does, how he plays it, right? His impact on a nightly basis. Like he's been that guy for us. So we need to kind of figure it out, and hopefully Luka figures it out, right? Like, because otherwise it could end up being a quick playoff run. But again, I trust Luka to figure it out. I trust the Lakers to figure it out. I trust the Lakers to bounce back and be the team we know they can be. We've seen this team and a version of this team that's like, okay, they can beat anybody, right? We've also seen a version of this team where it's like, like they could lose to anybody. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you trust Luka? Do you not trust Luka? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.